Hi, this is Ryan again with Carver Web Designs, and this is my next project, which is a CBD oil company to sell health products. So it's a Shopify integration, so we're going to ignore this. This is just like a placeholder for the shop. I have a backend developer that can take my HTML and CSS and shove it into Shopify, and it loads my files with the Shopify APIs, pumping out this section. So this is just a placeholder for design, just to show the client. So these are the sections. Got some custom graphics down here and up there with their logo. We got some of these guys. This is a pretty straightforward site. So their budget wasn't too big for a designer, which is the guy I work with. But so I took a crack at this myself, and this is what we got. So pretty happy with it, and should be a pretty quick one, maybe only a few hours, hopefully. So let's just start cracking at the HTML. This is obviously the starter kit that I start with on every project. It has dark mode and responsive navigation and footer already enabled. So the first thing we're going to do is I already got the images loaded. We're going to remove this H2 because we only need an H1 for this. So let's zoom in here. So we got this logo. Let's get rid of this button so that we just need to shop more. So if you're not familiar with my format, we're just going to do a mobile first, completely responsive website. Let me get this Lorem 15. There you go. So we're just going to start with the HTML first and then move on to the CSS. And I'll show you with a special way I like to structure my CSS that I'm pretty sure not a lot of people are doing right now. But it makes working so much easier. So now we just got to do the markup. So we got this. We just need our image now. CSS images. I think that's under forced evolution CBD. And then we got this graphic here. So this is a custom graphic that I made of these trees. So think about this section, right, with the background. Like, ignore this. Just imagine this is the rectangle. And we want to place this image absolutely inside this container. So bottom 0, left 0, width 100%. So it stretches all the way, and it's on top, and it's at the bottom. Now, the trick to this is to have a white graphic with a white background behind it, so that it's basically seamless. There's no you can't see where it stops and where it starts. So we're going to go to the outside of all the containers and add this image, not as images. And what is this under? This is going to be forced evolution. So it is Pine V. There it is. And we're going to do aria hidden. So, because this is just decorative, this has nothing to do with anything on the site that we need to know about. So we do an aria hidden, which hides it from screen readers, so it doesn't pick it up. And then we're going to do a class of I don't know, pines. So that's that. Then we're going to have our next section here. So since we have this one, which is identical to this one, we're going to also give it a class. So let's just give it a class of quote block. Because I want to target the styles for this with a class so that I can copy and paste it and do it again down here and not have to do anything else. I just got to change the text and it all stays exactly the same. So that's what we're going to do. So let's break this down. How do we make this? So obviously try to do as few containers as possible. So we're going to have an H2 with a pseudo element in the background attached to it. So we're going to do pseudo element for the background. And we got this little guy here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a span inside the H2 for products. and I think I'll put it healthy by products, healthy by nature. So in the DOM, like where do I want that span? Do I want to say products healthy by nature, or do I want, like if a screen reader is reading it, do I want it to say healthy by nature products? So I'm just going to do H2. So we're going to do healthy by nature products. So I'm going to give this product, I'm going to give it a probably a display block, and maybe absolutely position it in the top left corner. So that's how I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna separate this because I don't want to create another div container with these two suckers in it. And that's just more markup. I'm gonna try and do this as clean as possible. And these guys. So we need these guys. How do we want to do it? One of the there's a couple different ways to do these bars. I could do a div on each side, so on top and on bottom, and then add pseudo elements for the top and bottom of this. But how do I want to do it? Because it'd be easier if I had a container. So if I added a container around all of this content, right? I would just absolutely position this to the left and to the right, and that would be it. But is there there is. I think that is the easiest way. So just by nature of this design here, it'll be a lot easier to contain this in a container. So copy container. So there's that guy. Now we're going to do dot bar. Let's do bar. So that's going to be the bar. And then we're also going to do another class of left. So we're going to copy this, put this underneath, so that they're going to be styled the same, but they're going to be positioned by the left and right class. And since they are just, for design, I'm going to do RA and true. So we're going to hide it from screen readers because it does not need to know what this is. That should be good with there. So now we need this text. Let's just grab this. So copy under this H2. We're going to do our P. And then under that, we're going to do our A tag, which is about us. And looks like we have a little graphic actually. So I'm going to add that as a pseudo element. Because I like to add, when you have these graphics that are attached to elements, I think it's better and easier to add them as pseudo elements, since they are, which makes them attached to their element rather than making a div to have a container around this graphic and around this button and then center them and put this behind it. It's a whole thing. So I'm going to try and make it happen with a pseudo element, so we're going to ignore that for now. We're going to ignore products. So this is about, oh, I skipped one. Well, let's just take this, copy this, and put this down here. So we got one section, two section. Let's do 3, 4, 5. So 2, 3, 4, 5, just to get those set up. So this one's going to be this section. We're going to call it benefits. So if you're not familiar from my last video, this is how I like to structure my HTML. I like to have these comments. It structures it really nicely so that you can see at a glance what you're working on. And then I always, every section of a website, I go section by section, is wrapped in a section tag. Well, now I gotta take that call really quick. That's the wife calling. And I'm back. Wife was taking the kids to the park, and we forgot shoes. So, way to go, me! They're coming back now. So these sections, I like to break down all of my sections in the website into section tags, which is where everything lives inside. So you'll notice that I've copied and pasted them. This is the best way to structure your HTML semantically as well. Instead of just doing divs everywhere, this tells Google and everybody else that this is a section of a website. Everything inside this section is related. So that's what all this content has to do with. And it just breaks up your content so that Google can understand, a better broad sense of its meaning. So we got our benefits. We got two guys. We got a left and a right. So we got this shadow thing behind this image. Normally I would do a pseudo element, but you can't do pseudo elements on images. And because we have this graphic here that could be changed out at any time, what I like to do when I have images that that could be swapped or will be swapped out a lot, I like to set them as divs and set the background so that I don't have to keep, when I do edits, I don't have to keep cropping images or making sure they fit. And if they're a little bigger, a little smaller, they don't mess around with the layout of anything. So what I'm going to do is we're going to have a dot left and a dot right. Dot left will just have the image of this bridge. So it is decorative. Doesn't really have anything to do with, CBD. So I think I'm just going to do aria hidden equals true, so we can skip that over. We don't need to discuss this. It's just a bridge. So we're going to hide that, and then I'm going to add this as a pseudo element onto this div. So now we dive into the right section. We got that same deal. We got the H2, so let's just copy this H2. That's already been done. We're going to do benefits. CBD oil. And this is subheading, so this is just a placeholder. So we'll just keep products there for now as a placeholder. Let's see, we got this arrow. See, I've always been, this arrow doesn't show up anywhere else. It's just there. I was toying with it before, so I think I'm just going to ignore it because I think it's stupid. I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to leave it without it. And so we're going to grab this text. We're going to do P. And then again, we got our A's. Let's see, about CBD oil. Oh, and we forgot to add our class button dash solid. So I have in my template kit is a set base of styles. So button solid is the basic class style for all links and buttons. So that'll already be it'll already pretty much look like this. I just got to change the color and font and etc. But so now we got this is a fun one. So we got our list, and it needs to be broken up into two. And we have this custom circle here. So what we're going to do, so we're going to have our UL, right, and then we got our LI. So I'm not going to waste your time, typing all of these words. So we're literally just going to do, actually I shouldn't do that, pane. We're just going to do one and copy it because you're not here to read, we're here to learn. So we got 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And what I'm going to do is in CSS, I'm going to take care of all this. I'll show you how to make a custom bullet point for all of your list items, and how to make this into 2 separate columns. And the same deal here with our button, a.button solid. And oh no, whoop, I did that here. I got ahead of myself. Copy and paste. There we go. So that's that section, right? We also got this image. Let's see, what is your name? I think that's going to be, that looks like a darker one. So I think it's logo graphic. I think that's what I did. Yeah, so we're also going to do, no, that's my other project. There we go. So we're going to do, we're going to go up to the top, right here. We're going to add an image. And what is that? Graphic. Logo graphic. Was it an SVG? No, it wasn't SVG. It was the PNG. Yeah. Logo graphic PNG. And again, purely decorative. Aria hidden equals true. Hidden. Now, come on, right? Hidden. Hidden. And then we got this graphic down here as well. That's going to be another absolutely positioned graphic outside of any containers or anything. So image slash images. Let's see which one is that one. Nope. Is it Pines? I think it's Pines Black. Is it Pines Black? Where are these? It's one of these. I know I saved it. That is that's my cue to go bring out some I gotta go bring out some shoes. So I think it's Pines Black. So let's put this in here. Pines Black. Aria. I'm getting blown out right now. That's the wife. The quacking noise is the wife texting me or calling me. It's the loudest, most obnoxious ringtone on my phone, so I know exactly who's calling me or texting me, and if I'm sleeping, it wakes me up because there's a duck. So I'm going to pause this really quick and go bring out some shoes. All right, and I'm back. I don't know how some of these YouTube people find the time to do things without ever being interrupted by family or kids or anybody, but sorry for all the distractions here. It's just, you got kids, you got a family, you're at home recording videos, so that's going to happen. Well, we got this graphic. We get our Pines graphic. Let me see. Yeah, okay, I think that's yeah, it looks like it's the black graphic at 11%. Cool. Now we're going to slip down to this guy. Looks like it's going to be, let's just call it tagline. As you can see, the copy is still all placeholder. This is still very beginning stages. But the way I want this to work, I want this little section here to be right aligned, and I want it to stay here, right? And I want it to stay in this alignment. So what you have to do, I'm gonna have to show you this in a very archaic form. So we have this section, right? And let's fill this in. So this is what we want. This is our section. Get over here. Right? It's that. And we want our box to stay. Come here. It's going to be white. So we want our box. This is going to be. So we're going to put it in the container, and we want it to stay in this position. But the only way to do that is to create a container. Now we got this. So we create a container, right? That is, let's say it's, 1,200 pixels wide. So we have this container. This is our content. We set the content to display block and margin left auto, so it pushes against the left automatically, and a margin right of 0. And that's going to push this all the way to the right of this container. So no matter how wide this section gets, this container, this 1,200 pixel container, doesn't get any bigger. It's centered, and this thing is centered to the right of this container. And that is what's going to keep it in this position. So this needs a container. All right. And inside of this container, we are going to have this content section, so I'm going to call it content. And then we got our H2, snappy tagline about health, right? So we're going to copy and paste this text. And then, of course, our trusty button. That button solid. Oh, come on, Ryan. Class. Button solid. What are we going to have here? Shop CBD. Okay, and it's a transparent, so I'm going to use my transparency class. Button transparent. That gives me, it's basically a secondary button. So it's just transparent with a border, and that's just a class that I have in my little starter kit. And then we got this image. Which one are you? Compass? Yes, compass graphic. So it's going to be called compass. So we're going to shove this on top. Slash images, compass, PNG. Do I have a compass SVG? I do. I'm going to use the S. Maybe. No, I'm just going to use. I'm going to use PNG for now. And again, this is purely decorative. So RE equals true, not false. True. We want to hide it from screen readers because it's not necessary. So I think that's going to be it for that section. I think you'll see in CSS once we get to desktop how this is going to work. But that's how you structure something like this, where if you have a content section that's aligned in a certain way, you got to have a container to contain it, and you have to wrap it in its own container to push it left or right inside of that container. That's just the easiest way to do it. We got these guys. So we got, custom. We got these guys, right? They're custom graphics, and we got text. You don't ever want to have like meaningful text in a graphic. So what we're going to do is so I saved these shields as an image, and then we're going to take that image and add it as a pseudo element to the H2s. I think I'm going to do H3s for these. I don't know, or spans. Probably spans are better. So this span, or whatever that I decided to be, will have a pseudo element that's this tall and this wide. And I'm going to, let's see, this is 7-degree tilt. So all of them are going to have a 7-degree tilt. So that means my pseudo elements behind them, they will also be tilted 7 degrees. So then I have to add a rotate of -7 degrees to counter that and straighten it out. So that's how we're going to do that. And I think I'm going to include these in the same section, because this also is their philosophy: no THC, no chemicals, organic. So I'm going to keep these together, and we're going to call it philosophy. And so since we have, you can see it highlighted, when you have multiple items that need to be next to each other, you need a container, just to have it organized in the way you want. There's a way to do it without it, but I don't want to do it. I want to use Flexbox. So we have to contain these guys. Let's just do our users a general container. Right, so we got our span. Let's do it. I don't know. Just call these spans our shields. Span, shield, and we got 20 flavors. Copy this, 2, 3, 4, and just because I want to see it all fit right. No chemicals. We're just going to fill in these. So no THC. There's a reason, like we have, so they're all caps right now. Right here, they're all caps. We don't want to do that in our markup. because what if we have to change it? What if we don't want it to be caps anymore? It's just easier to do it in CSS and change it in CSS rather than having to go to the markup and change the markup. We don't like doing that. So we got that container there. And then we got this guy. Remember this one? We're going to scroll back up to our about, and we're just going to copy this. And we're going to put it in here. Now, you don't want a section within a section. So we're going to just transfer this back into a div. And then it's going to be philosophy. Make a little space there just to make it look better for me. So now we're going to change this to philosophy. And then we're going to make this evolution. Then we're going to copy and paste this text. So I don't know if it's going to be different or not. And it's the same. Great. I gotta take this call. Here we go again. All right, I'm back. Sorry for all these interruptions. It's really hard to do these things without having anyone leave you alone. So we left off on our philosophy, and now we just have to do our little. I think we forgot these guys. No. We're down here. Philosophy. Okay, so now we got our shop button, services. Let's see. Okay, yeah, I just want to make sure I had that Pines black there. Okay, there we go. So we got that done. Our flavors, philosophy. Okay, so now we got this guy here. So it just depends what we want to do with it. Is it going to be part of the footer? Are we going to have this on all of our pages? Or is this going to be on just the home page? And I think I want these to be part of, I think I want this on all my pages, just because I like the way it looks. So let's take this out. We're not going to put it in its own div. We're going to put it inside the footer. So I'm going to delete everything in my pre-built footer because this is a newer custom footer. So what's going to happen is I'm going to create a container, right, in the footer. So it'll be the top section of the footer. And it's going to have a pseudo element with this on the left, so it'll be before, and then we'll have an after pseudo element, so these will be attached to it. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to do position absolute, and position so that it is broken up from the normal flow of the HTML. We got to put position relative on the footer so that it can be absolutely positioned relative to the footer. And I'm just going to push it up a lot, and then we're going to put padding bottom down here to push this up, and that's where that's going to live. So we're going to do, let's call this Footerbox. So we're going to have a left, let's do footer left just to be more specific. And since this is just, another decorative piece, it has nothing to do, it's not important to know what it is. So aria hidden equals true. We're going to hide that. And we got our right. And inside of that, we have our H2, another header. And then our P tag, we're going to take all this, put it in the P. And then we got our A, dot button solid. That's going to be our shop now, our call to action. So, and we also got this little dandelion guy here. So that's going to be another absolutely positioned graphic. So we're going to make a space here. Where is it? Looks like it is this one. So dandelion white flip. So we're going to do image, /images/dandelion white flip. So I already gathered these images before and slapped them all in a folder. Class equals dandelion. So we're gonna place that absolutely in the corner here, and then so now that we got the footer box out of the way, looks like we got ourselves a bigger version of, I think it was this is a white version of this this graphic right here. This is like a dark blue version, but this one's going to be a white. So yeah, I think it's going to be logo single. That's what that is. So what we're going to do, that's going to be another floating image. So let's put this right. Let's just put this right here. Anyway, what was it called? Logo single. Logo single. And again, even though it is the logo, it's being used in a decorative manner. So we're going to do aria hidden true. And we're going to hide that. It's not necessary. Now we got this group here. So this like logo group, right? Kind of doing the same thing as we did for this. So I think I need to create a box. We're going to do our pseudo elements to the box and make them go left and right while this stays in the middle. So let's do logo box. And I want that to be a link. So I want it to go somewhere. So we're going to do class equals footer logo. So when you click on that, I want you to go back to the home page. So we're going to do /index.html. There we go. And inside this a tag will be our image. And that's going to be that forced evolution. What a surprise. Just a second. All right, one more time. So we are going to look at, it's the forced evolution CBD logo. Excuse me, held back burp there. Okay, so images, forced evolution CBD. Okay, so that's going to be that. And then this logo box, I'm going to do pseudo elements. So I need to have a dot footer line and then a footer top. So I'm going to give them both their styles, heights and widths and colors on the footer line, and then I'm going to position them and add their pseudo elements by their top and bottom identifier. So again, we got our, let's just copy this one. So they're just decorative. They don't need to be understood by a screen reader, so we do aria hidden true. Now we got this little disclaimer text, so we're going to do that outside the logo box. It doesn't need a container. We're going to put that there. And then we got our branding. So that's going to be, I think we just put this in the footer again. It's going to be a tag. Well, actually, I don't need that right now. It's going to be a span tag. Designed and developed by a tag. Mio Carver Web Designs. And then we got another span here. Oops. Copyright 2021. And that's it. I mean, that's the markup for this. Pretty easy. A lot less complicated than my first one, but yeah, we went with Northwestern design because they're in the Pacific Northwest out here in the Seattle area. So just trying to be a little more, natural and woodsy, but still modern. We got this background image here that's going to be on the back of everything. So we're going to add that in CSS. And we have another one that it's a gradient. It goes from white and then into the texture. So we're going to try and get that to work nicely. And well, let's now the HTML is done, let's go look at the CSS in the next video and see how fast we can get through this.